Hello, it's the Bad Mini Painter, and I'm going to do something new. I'm going to paint Adeptus Mechanicus. In this case, Skitarii Rangers, I guess, which just as well could be Vanguards. The difference is, as I see it, the head and weapon, but same colors, you know. I've never painted these before, but I got a box for Christmas, and they're really cool. So I decided to give it a go. So, as a spray base color thing, primer, I primed them with the lead belcher because there's going to be a lot of hard to reach metal parts on the model, so it seemed like a good idea. And then I thought, hey, let's do the metal first. So I dry brushed it with the Stormhost Silver. Then I went in with the bright bronze from Vallejo, which is this really golden bronze color. And I gave all the parts that I thought should have some bronze. That makes sense, right? So that was mainly the gun, and then different smaller details around on the model, like buttons on the backpack. I did some highlighting of the chest plate thing, just to add some variation, basically. And it looks pretty uninteresting right now, but it gets better. For the wooden part on the gun, Morphang Brown. That's my go-to. And I try not to hit the bronze metal thing. And I failed at it in some cases, and in some cases it ended up looking okay. So, like, if you're a little more careful than me, you can make this look really good. But you have to be more careful than I am. Next up, black wash, all over the place. Army Painter has a black wash that is a lot less pigmented than Citadel's Null Oil, which means that it's more runny, so it basically just goes into all the recesses and it doesn't really stain or darken down that much on flat surfaces, which is pretty ideal for me. I wanted something a little bit bright for the red cloth, dress, jacket thing. So I decided to go with Demon Red, but I think Mephiston Red could do pretty much the same job. And this is where I kind of regretted doing the lead belcher primer, because it's hard to cover with colors like red or yellow and stuff like that. So I kind of regretted it, but it turned out that 2 coats somewhere, some places 3 coats, and then it was just fine. And the idea I had for the cloth it ended up working out great. Red bone for the inside of the clothing, and this, even though being a fairly heavily pigmented base color, needed 2 coats as well. I thinned it down quite a bit because it tends to be kind of splotchy, gunky. So yeah, again, kind of regretting the lead belcher decision. But all in all, I think I saved myself some time by not having to do all the metal parts. I use warp lightning for the little screen thing on the backpack, just to add some detail and not to be lazy. I don't know. It's definitely a step you can skip. Next up, Corvus Black, and I use this for all the wires. I will have the wires, and then for the pants, because they have pants on. And yeah, I felt like it looked pretty well, and it has good coverage. So next, Abaddon Black for the other half of the wires. It's again, I could have done all the wires in Corvus Black, but to add some variation. Magic Blue from the Army Painter. It's a speed paint, and I thought it had a good color for plasma. So I decided to try that one out. I've actually never used it before. And when it dried up, it looked fairly well. When you see the end result, I think you will agree with me that some highlighting with white would have been good. But yeah. And while I had the Magic Blue out, I decided that the eye lenses might as well get a stab of it. And it's subtle, but I think it worked well. Then I took Sealed Yellow from the Army Painter, and I just gave it a little dot to the, I think it's a light they have on their shoulder, I don't know. Again, just adding a little bit of detail. Blood Red from Scale 75 for the backs, or the sigil, the Purity Seal sigil thing. And that's basically what I used it for. Screaming Bell for the parchment. Screaming Bell, beautiful. Screaming Skull for the parchment, of course. It's a classic. It's how we do it. Then I went in with the Scrag Brown just to add some highlighting to the wood on the gun. And also I noticed that they actually have some straps on the backpack, and I decided to give them some Scrag Brown as well. Then I went in and mixed a 50-50 of Demon Red and Fanatic Orange, both of them from Two Thin Coats. And all the race part of the cloak got a pretty thin layer of that. Just to, everywhere I thought that the light would hit and collect, I gave them like a fairly thin coat of this mix, which blended in quite nicely with the rest. Finally, Agrax Shade for the Purity Seals. Again, very, very classic. I tried not to darken it down too much. And the end result looks like this. I will say that I'm oddly satisfied with how they ended up looking. I'm glad that I spent the time to do the highlight on the cloth, because it added a lot of interest. Besides that, these models are oddly not that frustrating to paint. There is some hard to reach parts, of course, and they are on a 28mm base, so they are small, but no, they're really fun to paint. And I think I did myself a favor by base coating them in Lead Belcher. I think a lot of the frustration that I normally would feel would come off having to paint that Lead Belcher all over the place. So I think I recommend that. You just have to do an extra coat of the vibrant colors like the red. Anywho, if you enjoyed this video, seek mental help. And also, please do leave a like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. I really do appreciate it. So, thank you for your time, and I will hopefully see you soon for another upload. Bye.